Well, my name is Hunter Swift. I'm the Director of Sales Development for Dealer Socket. We're a CRM company. I'm on Twitter. It's Hunter Swift, one word. So if you see any tidbits or anything that you feel you want to share to the Twitterverse, please feel free. Today I'm discussing a topic that is, I think, really important in our industry because I think there's, for a lot of people in our industry, maybe we're not looking at it or focusing on this. And the goal of this presentation is, one, just to maybe kind of open your eyes, kind of enlighten you guys to kind of see the bigger picture and maybe allow it to make some changes at your dealership, change some processes. I'm going to try to give you some tidbits in regards to your CRM, regardless of what vendor that is, and really allow you to come away from this with something of value. So I'm sure we've got people like salespeople all the way to owners maybe in this room, and so in order for me to prepare for this, I have a lot of information. I'm going to give it all out. Might be a little too much, but my goal is you get at least one or two things out of it, better than nothing. So the class is focus on your CRM to drive traffic and increase productivity. So let me ask a question by a raise of hands. How many of you came to Digital Dealer to learn how to drive more traffic to your dealership? Okay. Anybody raise their hand who didn't want this? Okay, so everybody, right? So when I talk about we, I'm talking about us as the industry, right? Vendors, dealers, industry. Where do we focus on in regards to driving traffic? I think this is important. So I love statistics. So I was looking at Digital Dealer. I counted 94 sessions. 57% mentioned in the title or the summary leads, traffic, advertising, website marketing, or social media. Out of the 81 vendors, 61% had to do with driving traffic. So we have a major focus on driving new traffic. If you look at your ad spend at your dealership, almost 70% of your ad spend is regards to driving new traffic to the dealership. Would you say this is a correct statistic for your dealership? Okay, the focus of this class is to really focus on that 5%. The repeat customer. Okay, so these are the things that we're going to talk about today. So if you look, again, going back to this focus, 95% of the work that we do at the dealership is reactive. And what I mean by that is we have guys that are standing on the lot and they're waiting for that next up to come. When the up comes, then they work it. We have people in the internet department. What do? We're just waiting for that next up. 95% of the sales effort revolves around that. 5% is really this proactive thing, and this is what I'm going to talk about today. So let's look at the return. Okay, if we're focusing all of our efforts in advertising, this is a great quote I love. Half of my advertising budget is wasted. I just don't know which half. Right? It's a true statement, right? I mean, it's very hard to track the return on our advertising. Right? We're still spending a lot of money, newspaper, traditional marketing, radio, billboards. It's hard to connect a definitive ROI to this. Yet we're still putting 70% of our ad spend toward driving new traffic. Okay, so hopefully this is opening your eyes, light bulbs going off. Let's look at the return for all this work and investment that we're doing. For a fresh up, I was just at a show. Keith Shutterly, he's kind of a CRM expert. He said that only 25 to 35% of fresh ups is being inputted into the CRM. Raise your hand if you think that's a true statement at your dealership. Okay, a lot of people don't want to admit that because if we're only inputting 25 to 35% of our traffic that walks into our store, all of our internet or all of our ROI reports, all of our data, all of our marketing, ad spend, return is off. Okay, so all that money that we're investing, we're not getting a good return. Phone ups. Okay, 80% of our business comes from the phone or internet. That means that 80% of our success is dependent on our ability to set an appointment or not. So we did some research. I think it was about 2 million calls. Only 6% of them asked for an appointment. You have people that say, answer all their questions. Hey, my name is Hunter. When you come in, ask for me. That's pretty much all they do. So again, a lot of focus. We're not getting the return out of it. So now let's look if it gets any better on the web lead. How many people get web leads that look like this? You get a name, email address, and a vehicle. Okay? Majority of the leads have this. You're lucky if you get a phone number. And you're lucky even if you have a name, email, phone number, if they even reply to an email, answer a call, right? They sound all interested. Hey, what's your best price on this? You send it to them and nothing. Crickets, right? We're spending $20 to $50 per lead. We don't even have exclusivity on it. It's going to 3 or 4 dealers, and it's a very low gross, because what determines if we get a web lead, if it's between us and another dealership? It's price, right? And in fact, it's a very low CSI, because what do they want? Price. We don't want to lower the price. Come in, we'll give you a best price if you come in, right? Instantly affects CSI, okay? So now, the purpose of this class, now let's look at this. In your CRM, you have information like this: contact information, every lead they've submitted, every time anybody at your dealerships is called, emailed, or text. You know every vehicle they've looked at, what vehicle they own, current mileage, even the miles per gallon of the vehicle they have. Every time they've visited the store, you know the trade value, you know if they're in an equity position. You even know what bank programs they qualify for and manufacturer incentives. So you guys are paying $20 to $50 for a lead that has name, email, and a vehicle. How much would you pay for a lead with all this information? A lot, right? I could probably start a lead company that just pulls from your CRM, charge you more than $20 to $50 a lead, and you would like it because it's more information that you have. Okay? The best part about this is you already have it. Okay? It's low cost. You're already paying for a CRM, and it really doesn't require a lot of money, 5% of your ad spend usually, to actually get a good return off of this. The best part is it's exclusive to your dealership. You're not competing against anybody, okay? And it's not a lot of work. A lot of the stuff, you can set it up in your CRM, set these campaigns and business rules, and they occur automatically. The other thing is they know you. They've either submitted a lead, they've talked to you on the phone, they've bought a car from you, they brought your car in for service. They physically know where you're at, okay? You're not having to convince them like, hey, come to my store. And even if the past experience wasn't positive and it was negative, and I have the ability to repair that, I can have a long-lasting customer because I took the effort to do that. And the best part about this is high gross, right? That's what we really care about, right? High gross and high CSI. So what needs to change? Well, in your CRM, you need to kind of change your perspective on how you look at CRM. CRM, we use it all the time. It stands for, in case you didn't know, Customer Relation Management. The first CRM tools that were out there were designed because dealers got websites and it had a form and it was submitting a lead and they needed a place for these to go. And then some guy says, well, hey, if I put my showroom ups in it, I can track that too. And as it's evolved, a lot of dealers are still using the CRM to manage customers and leads. The most progressive and successful dealerships are managing the relationship of that customer. Okay? Remember, we're in a customer service industry, and for the most part, customer service in auto dealers, as we know, has a bad rap. So if you use and leverage technology, you can actually improve this relationship that the person has. Most people hate having to buy a car. If you leverage the technology to cultivate and nurture that relationship, they're just mind blown. Okay, and what I mean by that is if I tell a person that I'm going to call them on Thursday, the CRM should prompt them that it does that. If I just sold a customer a car, I don't want to send them a $500 off their next purchase a week later. That affects our relationship. If the customer says, I don't want to be called at home, I want to be emailed, right? We don't do it just because that's what it says in the CRM. We really do it because we care and we want to be able to offer the ideal customer experience for every one of your customers and create this customer for life. And this is for prospects, solds, future solds. We got 3 or 4 people at their house. They own 3 or 4 vehicles. We can service their vehicles. This is all this. We got to use this tool really to manage this relationship. And if you do it correctly, I mean, they're going to love you for it because they're not expecting it. Okay, they're expecting you to kind of screw them, and when you offer this type of service, they're kind of set back and they give you referrals. That's the best part. The importance, though, is when we start talking about data, it has to be one database. Okay, you have customers or data in your DMS. You have data in your CRM. Some people have data in a third-party company that they're using. The importance of marketing to your database out of one tool, it's because the CRM in particular, every interaction that customer has with your dealership occurs in the CRM. They call, it goes into the CRM. They visit, it goes into the CRM. If they say, hey, don't call me at this number, or they opt out, it's in the CRM. So if we export that information to a third party and they start doing this marketing for us, they don't match, right? So we can update information in the CRM, it doesn't reflect to this. Or the DMS, right? Everybody, I'm sure, has had issues, duplicates with DMS because it's transactional. It's not based around a customer or even customer relation management. So when you start marketing out of these different groups, you get sometimes you might even send maybe multiple messages to the same person, and it affects that relationship. So whatever database you use, make sure you use it out of one. When you look at your data, you got to make sure that you segment your data into these groups. Okay, dealers are famous for the spray and pray email blasts, their whole database. Okay, you have 10,000, 30,000 customers in your database. We already went over all the information that you have. You need to take some time and try to take that data, 30,000, and start creating groups. Okay, try to segment these people, and it could be people that maybe have spent over $100,000 at your store. Okay, I'm going to segment these people into this group. I want to market to people who maybe we sold a car to but haven't been in for service, right? I want to look at people who it's their birthdays, right? And what you do is, as you start segmenting this data, then what you can do is you're getting more efficient. In the next slide, I'll go into that. But the idea is that every single person in your dealership, regardless if it's a lost customer, they bought somewhere else, has to be enrolled in some type of campaign. Because if it's just sitting there, it's not doing you any value. No one's calling it, it's just sitting there. And no one's reaching out to them when they're in the market. Okay? So this is an important part of that. And when I talk about kind of being very targeted, what it means is there's the 3 R's. The right message to the right person at the right time. Okay? Dealer Socket, we have a kind of a motto, and this is it. It's a Hawaiian term. It's called Kina Ole. And it's about doing the right thing in the right way at the right time in the right place to the right person for the right reason with the right feeling the first time. This statement right here really evolves, like summarizes customer service. Okay? You guys are in the customer service business. I hope that your mission, your vision somehow matches this. Am I correct? Or you would like it to be. Okay? Is your marketing, does it match that? Are we sending the right message to the right person? Or are we just sending that email blast out to everybody? Okay? Things to think about. The other value when you market out of your CRM is the time. A lot of us in the industry, we wait for the customer to decide when they're in the market for a car. If you use the CRM correctly, what the goal is to actually pull those customers forward. We get these guys on a 5-year, 6-year contract, right? 4 years into it, they're out of warranty, they're having problems, they see some new models out, and they're not in the market because they think they have 2 years left on the contract, right? That happens, right? And then what happens is we wait, all of a sudden about 6 months before, they start getting some marketing from us, maybe some other dealership. They said, oh, I'm going to submit a lead. That lead now goes to 3 or 4 dealers, and now we go back to that thing where we're now low gross. Where if we reach out to the customer before anyone else does, pull them forward, I have the ability to get people because of equity, lower payment, special financing, manufacturer incentives. We can pull these customers forward. And the best part about this is when I can pull a customer forward, I now have another vehicle that I can sell. Now I have 2 service customers. I mean, it starts to multiply really quick. You have to have things within the CRM that are going to notify you of opportunities of interest. You might have somebody that you might not have talked to for 6 months. They might not ever have opened an email, read answered a call or anything. You have to have things in place to where when you do send them an email, you track an open, you track a click-through. Maybe you do some website analytics and you can tell that they've been on your web page. They've never submitted a lead. They haven't visited your store, but you have this customer that's physically on your web page looking at something, right? That's interest, okay? But what do? We wait for them to submit a lead. So we got to be able to proactively be aware of these things and then reach out to them. And the goal really is to try to create and demand, right? We want them to come to us by what we do. So this next slide is a lot, okay? And a lot of people ask for my slides afterwards, and so I have a lot on my slides because I want to be able to give it to you and you guys be able to connect the dots and not try to have to do that. But anyways, these are just some of the campaigns that you can run in your CRM. And the way that this works is by segmenting your data into specific groups. And then it's marketing the right message to the right person at the right time. And you can see here there's some great things like, let's say, declined service. People that come in, they come in for an oil change. You notice their brakes are gone. You say, hey, you need brakes. And they say, I'm good, right? Well, are we reaching out to them maybe in 2 weeks when they got paid, maybe send out a 10% coupon? Or if someone buys a car, they take it home, they start, putting tint on it, they start doing these things. Are you sending out aftermarket accessories so they can customize it? Gives them a reason to come back to your store. If you have people, let's say it's a Ford store and you got a lot of loyal Ford Mustang fans out there, you got a new Ford Mustang coming out. Are you reaching out to those people and maybe sending them information in regards to the new Ford Mustang? If there's a video on YouTube that Ford just did, are you sending it to those people, letting them be aware? Are you, real quickly in most CRMs you can pull up a list of customers that have spent over $100,000 at your store. I mean, think about that. If you could have a list of every person that spent over $100,000 at your store, what would you do with it? What type of message, a specific message, would you send to those customers thanking them for their loyalty? What would you offer for them? They've repeatedly come back to your dealership. Are we asking these customers for referrals? A lot of times we're not. Okay? So it takes some thinking, right? Look at some categories that you want, and then try to figure out a specific marketing campaign directed at this. And remember, every customer should be enrolled in some type of campaign. Even if I lose a customer to a competitor, can I still service that vehicle? Right? You can come up with all these crazy ideas, and they're effective because it's a very specific message, right? But you got to have purpose behind it. Okay? One example, let's say I got happy birthday on there. There's also like an anniversary campaign. Raise your hand if anybody's using like a 3-year anniversary campaign. Okay. What's the purpose of the 3-year anniversary? Keep in touch. That's all it is. Okay? Let's look at changing. A lot of people are doing it. Now let's talk about changing the purpose. 3-year anniversary. I sent a template. It's been 3 years. Just a reminder of your annual registration, whatever that is. Our records suggest that, that you predict that you have approximately 29,000 miles. We want to make sure that you do your 30,000 warranty service. It's $350, and make sure you check your tire tread. What we're doing is giving this person a bill to continue driving their car. But the purpose now, new vehicle special. Okay, we have a special on this particular vehicle. Your trade, 0 down, reasonably the same payment. Okay, think of 3 years. They're getting tired of their vehicle. Do you think having a purpose like this on a 3-year anniversary would be more effective than just keeping in touch? Right? This is just an example I just kind of threw together, right? You even have to think about this in regards to just your regular prospect campaigns. Most dealerships that I know on the old process have one prospect campaign for all of their prospects. So anytime somebody comes to their store, regardless if it came from the phone, internet, or the floor, they enroll it into this campaign. And a lot of times they go for about 7 to 30 days. Usually that's about the time a salesperson will attempt to make calls, and then they move it to lost or just forget about it. And the purpose of this campaign is solely to sell them a car. The new process, right, that I suggest is having specific campaigns directed at your sources. So I'm going to market to my internet person different than a person that walks into my store. And it has to be driven off the statuses, and it needs to go out 120 days. Perfect example. I knew the car that I bought that was going to be my next car probably 2 years into my last car. I was already doing research on it. A new body style came out. I liked it, right? I wanted to see how much it was, if it's even in my ballpark before I get excited about it, right? I want to see best price. I go to your website. In order for me to get the best price, you guys kind of tricked me to make sure that I give some contact information, right? Okay, I got the price, but guess what? You got my contact information. You're going to start calling me. I'm not in the market, right? I'm not in the market for another 2 years. So we got a guy calling a couple times. He doesn't get contact. So what happens? Lost, right? If it goes out 120 days plus, right? A year, right? It doesn't have to be you call him every day for a year, but there has to be some contact. But again, there's got to be some purpose on it, okay? It can't just be to get in contact with you. Hey, did I answer all your questions? You gotta. Well, I'll go to it on another slide, but you got to have a very big purpose. And the goal is not to sell them a car. Okay? It's to advance them to the next status. So a person that submits a lead, it's not to sell a car, it's to get them on the phone. Okay? So you leverage things like, hey, I just saved a couple $500 on this car. Can you give me a call right now? I think I can do the same. Hey, we just got some new rates today. Can you give me a call? I think you might qualify. Hey, give something for them to pick up the phone and call you. If somebody's physically been in your store, gotten numbers and left, I'm going to market to that customer different than a customer that submits a lead. Okay? So make sure you have those. And the statuses are really just designed to move them through this pipeline. Let's talk about emails. Okay? If we're marketing to our database and our CRM and we want to keep it as low cost as possible, obvious answer is email. Doesn't cost anything. A lot of dealers are still using email templates that were put on when they signed up with their CRM 3 to 4 years ago. They haven't made any changes. The industry has changed in the last 3 or 4 years. Okay? So you have to go back and see, hey, what am I sending these customers? Is it relevant? Okay? Do I still have a 2008 Corolla as my stock photo on that template, or should I update it with a new one? Right? You got to look at those. The biggest thing that I can tell you, though, about this stuff is having a specific call to action. Almost every email that I see a dealer send to a customer that's not just a text email, it is a condensed version of their web page. It's got a banner. It's got 3 or 4 buttons at the top. It's got all these different links. It's got links to their website, YouTube channel, social media, and we send them, and we're hoping that they click on something. If you have a specific call to action, remember I was talking about, hey, call me right now? If I send an email, there has to be something in that. I want a call. That's the purpose of this email. I want you to click on this special finance credit app. I want you to click on this video and watch it, right? Something very specific. Then you measure open rate, right, and click-through rate, replies, calls. You know if it's effective or not. If you tell the person to call me and they call me, then I know it was effective and it was engaging. If I let the customer choose how they interact with me, they might think that they're interacting because they visited the web page, but you never initiated the contact, okay? And when we look at emails, the number one statistic that people look at for success is open rate, okay? I could be giving away a car in the email, but if they don't open the email, it's ineffective. So what determines the open rate? The subject line, okay? You have to be beta testing your subject lines and see what works. There is not one subject line that works for everybody. Otherwise, every spam company would use it. Look at your inbox, your personal inbox, and look at emails that you've clicked on that were spam and why you clicked on those. Okay? Is it because it had your name in it? Is it because it had the name of a dealership or the company that you recognized? When you do a bulk email not to your whole database, but to a specific market, split it up into 2. Pull a list and pull A through L and L through K. Same exact data, same exact template's going to go out, same exact call, but you're going to have one that's enrolled with this subject line, one enrolled in this subject line. Send it out and see what works, right? If you notice that you're sending out emails and you're not getting open rate, it's not the email. It's not the design of the email. It's not the offer that's in the email. It's usually the subject lines. So what's a good subject open rate, right? We say, 15%, 20%, 35%. If you have the greatest subject line, people are going to click on it, right? So you got to make sure that you're not satisfied with just the low percentage of open rate, that you're constantly trying to improve that. Still, dealers are sending out emails that aren't mobile friendly. Majority of us now get our emails on our phones, first thing that we look at, when we wake up in the morning. So that's important. But there's a marketing term called the Johnson box, okay? And if you guys don't know what that is, it's like the first space in the email. And if you look here, this is an iPhone. You might not all recognize this, but there's really 3 lines when you look at this email. The subject line and the first 2 lines, and it's a condensed line. So on your email, it's actually really the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 maybe words, okay? We want them to click on, and if it's not the subject line, it's got to be the content. A lot of us put images and different things on the top, and a lot of times they don't download the images, so they just see a blank box, or they don't see anything of importance. Put your relevant information at the top so that they can see that, okay? So that's an important part for that. Now let's go into kind of some of the process that we can make some changes to kind of just improve overall productivity. One, in regards to the internet process, right? Routing. It's all about writing the same process that we have when we're marketing to people. It should be on the way that it comes in. We should be getting the leads to the right person at the right time. If we're a Mercedes dealer and I got a guy that specializes in AMG and performance, maybe have the AMG leads go to him. If I got a truck guy that specializes in trucks, why don't I have the leads going to him? If I have a special finance leads, should my special finance leads go to everybody? Or should they go to somebody who understands previous deal structure, equity, trade de-evaluation? Get creative in regards to how you're routing these people, routing these leads to these people. And apart from price, response time is the biggest influence if somebody buys. So you have to have something in place to make sure that not only you're responding to the leads, but you're responding to the leads quick. If you got a lead that's not been touched for 5 or 10 minutes, there's got to be some type of notification in the CRM that's letting a manager know, say, hey, this customer submitted a lead and it hasn't been responded to. Why is this important? Exclusivity. That lead is going to 2 or 3 dealers. And what's interesting about this is the reason that this is such a effective thing is because usually the person has a lot of questions. Hey, does this car, how many horsepower does it get? What's the gas mileage? Does it have this feature, right? I have all these questions that I ask the first person. The next dealership that calls, what's the one question that I ask? What's your best price? And often if something comes up in that sales process, oh, I wonder, did this have side airbags? Who am I going to call? The first guy, because he answered all my other questions, right? So response time is important, okay? So that's important. And then another thing in regards to kind of some emails. This is kind of a new thing. I haven't seen anybody do this. This is a personal idea of mine. Every time we send out an email, it's got a link to our website, okay? Website is designed to drive new traffic to your store. Why are we sending our repeat customers to our webpage? Why not have a specific landing page for that campaign? Going back to that 100,000 customers that spend over $100,000 at the store, that link should go to a special page that caters to that specific customer, okay? And it's pretty easy to do, okay? So that's an important thing. So I talked about response time. We always say, is response time important? I was able to pull some data. I wanted to show you some real data if it is important. Does it matter? Okay. This shows you the close percentage. This is, just so you know, this was 6 months worth of data, and it's about 500 dealers. If you can't see, the red line is 123 domestic dealers, Ford and Chevy. The greenish yellow line is 127 Toyota dealers, and then the purple is 125 is luxury dealers. Okay, so regardless across brands, response time influences the close rate. Okay, it's interesting though that the luxury brands have a little bit more allowance in regards to response time. Interesting. Okay, some other things. You have to have the same tool for your showroom and your internet. Okay, you need to get to that. There's still dealers I talk to every day that are using different tools. The reason why is because you're not talking and you're having your dealer compete against your own dealer. Customer comes in getting price, he leaves, where does he go? He goes to your website, goes to your internet person, and he spits out price right away. It's lower than what your guy just quoted him. You just lost gross. Happens all the time. Or you have a guy that did all this work to get him into the store on the internet department. He comes in and the sales guy takes him, skates the deal, right? So you got to have the same tool. Okay, that's a no-brainer. And what it does, it really coordinates your efforts, allows you to save time. Another thing is in regards to kind of a smart reply. Kind of goes back to what I was talking about in regards to maybe a stock photo. If somebody submits a lead for a Toyota Tundra, I don't want to send a stock photo of a Corolla on that email. You got to have some intelligence to have the leads routed to specific campaigns or certain autoresponder that goes out. A lot of tools have things where if people submit a lead, it bounces them back, maybe a low, medium, and a high model, so that the customer automatically sees the price difference between the two vehicles versus coming in and seeing that fully loaded one and wanting the price that you quoted on that vehicle. They see it, they see a $5,000 difference. What do? Why is this one $5,000? They go into it, they submit a lead on that one, you just bumped them up. Okay, so have some intelligence there. Now, if we're going back to managing the relationship of this customer, remember, this is we care, right? We have to be able to understand how the customer wants to be communicated with. Okay, I can't speak for all CRMs. I'm not allowed to pitch. This is one example. Hopefully, other CRMs have this. when you send a customer an email, let's say it's that $500 off new car purchase a week after they just bought a car, what do? They click opt out. Okay? You can't send them any more emails. A month, 2 months down the road, you have a big major recall. Brakes aren't working, car's catching on fire, whatever it is. You need to send that customer an email letting them know. But he opted out, so he's not getting that email. That's big. Okay? You clicked manage your preferences, it pulls up a window like this. It allows the customer to say, you know what, I don't want to receive things that have to do in regards to sales and promotion, but when it has to do with the warranty or the safety of my vehicle, I want to receive that. And allow the customer to choose, well, you know what, I don't want to receive those via email or a mail, I want to go paperless. Or you know what, it's okay to text me. Opt in, allowing myself to opt in so that, if I come in for service and my car's ready, that I can communicate to them that your car's ready. Give the customer the ability to control this. They're giving us trusted information, their phone number, their cell phone numbers, email address. They trust us with that information. What are we giving them of value for that trust? Or are we just spamming them? Okay? So this is an important part of that. I can't emphasize enough video. Okay? We're in a digital age. People love to watch videos. A lot of us are doing now why buy from us, vehicle walkarounds, personal quotes, right, that we record, new model introduction, and we're putting these links into our templates. Make sure that there's a thumbnail, right, of the video instead of just a link. You see this thing, you can't really see it, it's kind of cut off. It's that guy from Dirty Jobs, right? I like that guy. Okay, I'll watch this video, right? Or you see certain things that kind of draw your attention to it. It's a way to engage those customers to click on it versus just, oh, it's just another link. Okay. Also send out e-brochures. That e-brochure is kind of a individual vehicle landing page that has all the information that they would want on that vehicle, and it would allow them to not go to anywhere else. Remember, going back to all that information. We want to give them all the information that they don't need to go anywhere else for that. Okay? So they need to be able to look at different colors of the vehicle, what's the standard equipment, horsepower, gear ratio, and then have call to action, specific call to action. Hey, schedule a test drive. Estimate your trade. Fill out a credit app. We got to make sure that we have that. And if we have all that in something that we send them that's ours, the dealership, we control it. I had a dealer who told me about this guy who submitted a lead, and he was super excited about this car. He was so excited that he took the link that he got the pricing from, which was cars.com, and he took that link and he sent it to his friend. He says, hey, this is the car that I'm interested. I'm working with this dealership. They're giving me a great price. His friend's looking at it. He's like, I wonder what my friend's going to pay for it. So he does the trick, puts in his contact information to get the thing. Another dealer calls him, because it's in a different area, and offers him a price lower than the price that the guy just got. So his friend says, hey, well, you should go to this dealership. He just lost it. The dealer did everything right. The customer was excited and wanted to share that information with his friend, and he lost it. If you have a vehicle landing page or an e-brochure, you can actually allow that customer to email it to multiple friends. They all have call to actions on it. Hey, check out my inventory. Fill out a credit app. Do payment options. So allow those customers to be referrals for you, because it happens. I was interested in a car. What did I do? I wanted my wife to see it, right? Took the link, sent it to her, right? Just some things to think about, okay? Let's talk about walk-in process. You guys remember that 25 to 35% that get put into the CRM, right? It's mind-boggling. A lot of CRMs nowadays have a mobile app. How many dealers in here are using a CRM mobile app? Okay, not everybody, okay? So we did a test study, 6 dealerships for 6 months, 3 months without mobile CRM and 3 months with a mobile CRM. And we saw a 33% increase in ups. That's huge, okay? Now, why is that, okay? If we go back to that 25 to 35%, why is it that low? Is it negligence? Do salespeople really not want them into the CRM? No, right? How many times have you met people today, either in the vendor floor or in person, and you forgot their name? They told you your name, but you forget it, right? You feel embarrassed. The badge is turned backwards. You can't tell. It happens all the time, and so it happens to your salespeople. And so what do they say? Well, I don't want to be rude and admit that I forgot. So when they come in and they fill out that credit app for Foursquare, Mike, oh hey, now I remember. But what happens when they don't get in? Doesn't get put into the CRM. So there's some reason, or maybe I get busy, right? Having something on your phone, and I greet you on the lot and say, hey, what's your name? Oh, Michelle, nice to meet you. I see you're interested in this car. Hey, I got this great brochure or a great video that I'd love to send you. Can I get your email address or phone number? I'll text it to you. Okay. One, they don't feel that they're being put into a system, but they are. So we're logging more ups. The other thing, we're capturing more email addresses and more cell phones. And we have even progressive dealers who now are saying, hey, are you on Twitter? Let me get that too. That's one of the fields that you want to input now, right? We're progressively, okay? So just by this little tool right here, 33%. Let's go a step farther. It's changing the culture to where a salesperson, a professional salesperson out, is a salesperson 24 hours a day. Meaning, your guys wear polo shirts. A lot of you guys have shirts on, right, that have your name in the dealership. You're at the bank on your day off, and some guy says, oh, you work at a Toyota dealership? I'm interested in a Toyota, right? Oh, yeah, come on in. Here's my business card, right? If I can input it on my phone right then, I can set a reminder so when I'm at the store tomorrow, I can call them. I can send the brochure right from the bank. If it's my day off, and remember, we're talking about managing the relationship of the customer, and it's the customer's birthday. Notifies me on the phone, guess what? A professional salesperson will call them that day. Otherwise, they come in after their day off, they see 3 calls for happy birthday. They're not going to call it because they don't want a happy belated birthday, right? So this is huge, right? They also have notifications, meaning wherever I'm at, if the customer sends me a lead, it notifies me on the phone, I can respond right away. Response time's low. We talked about the importance of that. Also, if I send a customer an email, notifications that the customer opened the email. When's the best time to call a customer? When they have something, either they're on my web page, they just clicked something. Oh, hey, random, I'm looking at your site right now. Right? We're smart. Very easy to do from a mobile device. Okay. So, and a lot of CRMs, mobile CRMs, you can even track phone calls from your phone. Because a lot of people, we're talking about CRM and trying to get them to make calls, and what do they say? Oh, I called from my cell phone, right? I text from my cell phone. The texting, the calls, all have to go through the mobile app, so it gets put into the CRM. Okay. Let's go to a used car process. How many people have people come into your store looking for a used car that you don't have? Raise a hand. Right? It happens all the time. What do? Most CRMs have a wish list. You say, hey, a person's looking for a used Cadillac CTSV. I'm a Cadillac dealer, right? I'm looking for a used CTSV. There's not a lot of used CTSVs out there. And I'm going to set a wish list because I know this guy's interested. And when I get one from a trade or I pick one up at the auction, it's going to notify me, and now I'm going to reach out to that customer. Great process, technology, everything. But the problem is we're letting that customer then leave. When they leave the dealership, what are they going to start doing? They're online, they're looking at things, they're visiting dealers. We just lost out that opportunity. A great process to improve customer relations with the use of technology and to offer a great service that not a lot of dealers are doing. Instead of letting that customer leave, say, come sit at my desk, let me go into my CRM, and let me pull up a list of everybody that I sold a CTSV to new 4 years ago. In my CRM, I have all their information. I even know all their service history. I know if they've had any major service repair. While that customer is there, I'm picking up the phone and calling, because if he leaves, he's going to be doing this anyways, visiting stores. I can pick up the phone and say, hey, are you interested in selling your car? Well, I hadn't really thought about it. I got somebody here. I got Bob here. He's interested in a CTSV. I know you take good care of it. If you're interested, I'll give you more for your car than you would have if you come in tomorrow. And the best part about it is if you come in, I'll give you a free car wash or an oil change. Okay? People will come in. I can have this guy take 2 or 3 vehicles in, right? He gets to now choose the vehicles. I'm offering a service that he's never got at a dealership before. And it's easy to do. It doesn't cost any money. It just takes a little bit of effort, right? And that customer, right, when he comes in with that trade and we sell it for him, guess what? He's got to leave in a car. I can upgrade him to the new CTS, right? This guy that I just did that service, do you think he's going to nickel and dime me over gross? What about CSI? It's going to be super high. That's going to be a customer that's going to tell all their friends, man, you should go to this dealership. They didn't even have the vehicle I wanted, and they found it for me, and they brought the vehicle to me. Okay. Also, things. People submit leads on or a lead and it has a trade on it. Are we looking before that customer even comes on a lot to see if we have people that are interested in that trade? Okay. Just some things to think about. Now, kind of wrapping it up. I got about 10 minutes here. I like to think of the CRM as kind of a pump. You get out of it of what you put into it. The more that you work your CRM, the more you're going to get out of it. And for the most part, dealers underutilize their CRM. Okay? To increase that, you originate leads and marketing opportunities from the CRM. If you have leads coming in from a third party or a or from the showroom, where are they going to be? They're going to be on the lot waiting for those customers. If you can create these campaigns and it's creating to-dos and opportunities for people, and they're going to be like on the lot, they're going to be like this in the CRM. They're like waiting for that next notification to come up that a customer falls into this window. If you create all these like segmented and marketing campaigns, they'll eagerly be in the CRM. They're going to start working those leads. They're going to be calling these people. They're going to be pulling these people forward. Guess what? Then those customers start coming. Then they're not waiting for that next up. They're actively going into the CRM and pumping it, and they're getting a big thing. But it requires change. Okay, hopefully you guys came here because you guys want different results and realize that you can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. So something has to change. Okay, so I hope I'm kind of talking about a lot of stuff. There's something that you can do or implement to require change, and it requires a lot of times. It goes down to the salespeople using the CRM. Okay, goes to accountability. You have to have reports or processes in place where you check out every employee. You have to know what they're doing, and you can't take their word for it. You have to know how many ups they've taken. And it might be having somebody just jot on a piece of paper how many ups that you saw them take, then look at the CRM and see if those people got inputted into CRM. Because if they're only inputting 25 to 35%, you're missing out. The dealer spending all this money, we saw that, to get the customer to the store. We have to get it into the CRM so that we get that marketing. Okay. Use this as an opportunity to increase accountability, but also to coach and train your employees. A lot of managers are managers because they're the longest. They maybe were good at it. They don't really have a lot of managerial skills, right? And a lot of times the CRM is based around the salesperson. This is a way for a manager to really act or to gain knowledge on how to manage their people better. You pull up a report like this and you see things like the completed sales steps. So it's kind of hard to see. Blue is contact, yellow is store visit, green is demos. This guy is getting almost every person that visits the store into a demo, but he's not getting them into a write-up. This, as a manager, allows me to have a coaching opportunity. Let's turn these customers. If we don't have data and we're not looking at this and saying, hey, you did a good job today, you made all your calls, they're not going to use it. And it's a top-down approach. Okay? The salespeople will not use the tool if the managers aren't in the tool. Okay? They're notorious at it. Okay? So you got to make sure that you do that. And then we're talking a lot about CRM, right? Raise your hand if you're not in sales. Okay. So I'm talking a lot about things and you're thinking, hey, this probably doesn't apply to me, right? An important part of CRM is the integration with the sales and service. This is a big opportunity, and it benefits both the sales and the service. And it's the sales to service, service to sell. What I mean by that is if a guy buys a car from me, we're doing the walk around, I'm showing him the owner manual, I'm setting the presets on the radio. Am I introducing them to service? Am I going to my computer, going to your webpage, and showing them how easy it is to set their first service appointment and actually setting their appointment for 3 to 4 months out right then? When that customer that I sold comes into service, is it notifying me that that customer is coming in today so that I can meet him over and say, hey, Mike, how you doing? Whoa, you remembered my name. Remember? Managing the relationship. How's the car? You like it? Oh, I love it. Hey, referral. We're missing this opportunity. It's super easy to do. We sell people cars all the time. They never come in for service. They go to Jiffy Lube, Econo Lube, right? The local things. We got to make sure that we're marketing to those people. And the way that we do that is we start pushing service right away, even if they're in warranty. And then the other thing about service appointments. Service can benefit sales. If I have a guy that's coming in for service and he's out of warranty and he has a $400, $500 customer pay RO, usually we just do it and we let him leave. Are we notifying somebody in sales and saying, hey, this guy's going to have to come out of pocket $400 or $500. He's in an equity position. He's out of warranty and he probably wants a new car and doesn't really want to put $500 in to continue driving it. Am I reaching out to somebody in sales and saying, hey, you qualify for go from a 2012 to a 2015, 0 down, only $100 more a month. People do it, right? Sometimes I can even save them money than what they're currently paying. Have a process in place where you're integrating the sales and service. So you have to have a tool that handles both sales and service. You have 2 different sales and service. You have 2 different databases. You can't do it as effectively. Do you have a question? Oh, so that's a couple things. And then, so just in closing, I got 5 minutes. As a CRM vendor, I get asked all the time, well, how do I know if I need a new CRM? Or how do I know if my CRM is working, right? If anybody uses our product, I hope you look at these same things, because I want to make sure that we're offering the best service to you. With your CRM, it has to increase levels of productivity. You bought the CRM for something, right? There was something that you were trying to accomplish. Whenever you did that 2 or 3 years ago, have you got there? Did it accomplish the things that you wanted? Are you seeing an increase in productivity? If not, maybe either you're not using the CRM as well, or maybe it's time to look. There should be an increase in appointments and BBACs, appointment show rate. We should be lowering our response times. We've talked about it a couple times now, integrating sales and service, integrating sales and internet. That's a gimme. You have to be able, going back to that lead provider, that 70% of our ad spend that's going, in the CRM, you can see every lead, every appointment, every sold, your show rate, even your cost per lead, cost per sold. You have all of this data. Are you going back and auditing your marketing, making sure that we're getting a good return on it? Because there's this huge database on the CRM with your current customers that we're missing. We can't just stop buying leads, right? Because we do. Although AutoNation, I don't know if you guys saw the news, is cutting 2 of its third-party lead providers. Okay? So some people are seeing this, right? They're not getting exclusivity. They're paying a lot of money, not high gross, high return. Go back to your vendors and say, hey, look, we're spending a lot of money and not getting a return on it. Okay? It really should be revealing opportunities. You have all these campaigns set up. Customers fall within this window. It has to notify you of these things that you missed before. And if it's not doing that, and it's saying, oh, this guy that I haven't talked to in 6 months, all of a sudden this thing came up because it's his anniversary today, or it's his birthday, or he qualifies for this, or he's in an equity position now. It has to notify me and create opportunities. And again, every customer needs to be enrolled into some type of campaign. And then the last 2 are kind of the biggest. People ask me all the time, well, what's the difference between your CRM and another CRM? Technology aside, they all pretty much do the same thing, right? You input customers, creates follow-up, gives you some reporting. The real power of the CRM is its ability to take processes, things that we learn in these sessions, and then go back and easily implement. If you have a great idea, you should be able to go into your CRM and it should be able to do that, versus being kind of handcuffed and saying, well, it's a great idea, but I just can't do it in my CRM. Okay? So that's big. But the last one is the people. Who should be better at customer relation than a CRM company? Okay? You have to get good support. Okay? But it requires some effort on your side. Right? It means when we train you, you got to be there. You got to be attentive. Managers have to be using the tool. Okay? A lot of times, salespeople are complaining about it. Managers are never into it. Next thing, you guys every two years, you're switching vendors. Right? It's expensive. It's costly. Make sure that you have a team that stands behind the product, and that goes with all your vendors. So hopefully, we've got a minute left. Hopefully, you got something of value. I will end with, this is my contact information. Please feel free to reach out to me, regardless of your vendor, if you just have any questions regards to CRM processes, if you want a copy of my presentation as well. But I'll open it up. We got just a couple minutes if anybody had any specific questions. Yes, go ahead. Honestly, I don't know. I know we do, but I'm sure Vin Solutions, almost all of them use it, but you got to make sure it's look at it and use it. Any other questions?
Do you have any advice on how to get your service sales working without butting heads in terms of utilizing those CRM opportunities? I know that a lot of times the service kind of feels like the sales is going to cannibalize their revenue.
Yeah, it's all about that mutual mutual benefit, right? A lot of times your most loyal customer in service, we don't want to sell them a new car because then we feel that they're not going to come in for service anymore. But if you get them into a new vehicle, they're going to bring that car into service, and I can take that car, sell it, and now you got 2 customers in service. So it's really about getting together and seeing what things can we both benefit each other. So, but anyways, I know you guys are rushing off to get new things. Hopefully you got something of value, and safe travels home.